Allow me to preface this review with a bit of a disclaimer. When it comes to my high school experience, it's not what you would have called normal. I bring this up because the unorthodox nature of my high school experience and the memories associated with that experience that are still fairly fresh in my mind have left me unable to really relate or get invested in stories and characters that are set in high school. And it doesn't help that most of the stories set in high school usually are between the two extremes of saccharin-soaked romance and so much angst that your ticket stub should come with a free bottle of Prozac. And while I still have issues with how this film stands as a film, I just want to make it clear this is coming from a bitter and biased perspective. There may be some elements of the film and of the genre itself that you may like, but I detest, and vice versa. However, I will try to keep those, like, the things that I disliked for personal reasons to a minimum, except where I find relevant. So yeah, I just want to put that out there and understand that I'm still kind of bitter about my high school experience and just how high school teenagers are portrayed in the media. And so that did color my judgment a little bit. That said, let's begin with this episode of Romney's Reviews. If I were to slice this film down the middle, you'd have one half that's the happy, somewhat uneventful romantic comedy, and the other half being, well, angst. I'm not saying it should have gone one way or the other, I'm just saying that there was a lack of tonal balance. The overall tone of the film wasn't very consistent, it wasn't evenly distributed. On top of that, the plot point that causes the angsty moments in the latter half of the film, well, it felt like it came right out of left field. There was nothing that really established it or introduced it early on to really point out the significance of it. It was just suddenly, oh yeah, it's this minor character trait. Oh, it's suddenly big and important. And it's something that really could have been established a lot better. On that same note, some elements of the story were overemphasized. Namely, the romance. I understand the romance is the big draw, and I understand that it was an important plot element, but really, looking at the film, I don't feel that that's where the real story was. It just felt like an explanation of backstory and motivation, and really didn't address the underlying themes that the film brings up, especially by the end of the film. Other than that, there's not really much else to say about the film. I mean, it did feel long in a few places, causing the aforementioned tonal imbalance, and it also feels like it's stuck somewhere between your critical darling from Sundance and a romantic comedy from the mid-90s starring Meg Ryan. This is definitely one of those films for the Sundance crowd as well as for people who want to relive the nostalgia of their high school experience before they come to the crushing realization that they're now old and those days are now gone forever. As a romantic comedy, it does the job, but as a Sundance film, or at least the kind of film that I would have expected to come out of Sundance, it needed a little more bite. That said, I give The Spectacular Now a 3.5 out of 5. So that's it for this episode of Romney's Reviews. I know 3 reviews back to back. Whew, that was intense. Thankfully, the schedule's going to be kind of leveling off a little bit, mostly because I start school soon for the fall. So as for next week, I'll be taking a look at The Mortal Instruments: City of Bones. See ya then.